What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Yard G2A Fest here on the Yard Fest channel. We have Game 2 coming up between Vega and 4 Anchors and Sea Captain. Vega did take Game 1 pretty convincingly, in fact, so we'll see if 4ASC can bring it back here in Game 2. If not, maybe in Game 3, but either way, it's going to be tough given the first game. I'm Mike Loris, and one of your casters for today. Danley is also here. That was a pretty gruesome game. Lots of people in the chat saying BKB on Sven, a lot better than that armlet. Do you think that armlet was really a game-losing move?
I don't want to say it was a game-losing item, but what other items could he have picked up that game? We had a couple of people mention in the chat that even if he picks up a BKB, he's going to be a raw target. It's just going to be a big fat target on his face saying, pick me, pick me. So BKB after the raw, it's going to help you, but it's not going to solve everything because they still have ways to deal with you during the BKB form. So I don't even think there would be any item to help him last game unless he had a lead. The blink, it was a nice item because it helped him close the gap to try and jump into the middle of the fights, but he just wasn't tanky enough to survive all the damage coming up from from Vega Squadron, sorry. So it's very hard to say what he could have picked up.
I think it was a combination of him not being tanky enough and not being explosive enough. Like, if that armlet was a crit maybe, then they may have had enough to burst down Vega. It was the Illuminate heal from the Coddle, plus, of course, the Mechanism, that really made it difficult for Anchors to burst down their targets, and at that point, then Vega Squad can get all their stuns off if you don't actually just burst them down first thing, and, well, no one's going to most likely take the DK again. Had a outstanding game in the last time, so we'll see if he can repeat it. This time, though, 4 Anchors is going to shift gears entirely with a Bounty Hunter and a Shadow Fiend pick. Bounty Hunter completely untouched in the first game, so yeah, this is probably as different as it's going to get.
10 seconds
Yeah, Vega Squadron, they're going to pick up the Chen, which was banned last game, and again, they're going to take the DK for no one, we assume. You never know, he can go in another lane. So we got a very scary duo already for Vega Squadron. What do you think 4ASC's plan is going to be this game? Full-on aggression, or are they going to try and win it through team fights into objectives?
Well, for 4ASC, they're going to have to already play defensively, or at least be responsive, because with the DK already up in the Vega Squadron, like that in of itself we saw in the last game, helped them push a hell of a lot of towers. All the tier 1s were claimed fairly quickly for a team that's not really a quote-unquote pushing lineup. Yet now with the DK and a Chen, Vega Squadron can push a lot more convincingly, and 4 Anchors, they'll have to stall this out. They need early game pickoffs. They need to snipe the DK once, twice, 3 times, make the Chen's life very difficult. Bounty Hunter is very good at doing that, to be fair, but if he's anything but super successful, then this Chen and DK push comp, just with the 2 of them, is going to make the 4 Anchor side very difficult very early on. So for ASC, they need to get some snipes right now, and that should be where someone like an Earthshaker comes into play.
And also, as you mentioned, if he's not successful in shutting down the Chen or the DK, the Bounty Hunter becomes a burden till he reaches that level 6. And we've seen a couple of games where teams run that aggressive roaming bounty just to be a bit of a threat to junglers, to just poke in those lanes. But typically we see them get 6 at 15 minutes. That is very late. Sometimes you see that at 20 minutes if you're very unlucky. So this Bounty Hunter has to work for ASC. The question is, how are they going to make it work? Are they going to go for the traditional offlane bounty or the roaming bounty? It has to be roaming because there is a Chen. May as well just soak up the EXP.
Yeah, you just sit on the Chen, put like a follow move on the Chen the entire time, and try to snipe some creeps. Vega Squadron, they know what they're going to be walking into. Like, that's what happens when you pick up a Chen this early. You run the risk of running into a Bounty Hunter, and, well, Chen just not a great matchup there. So if Vega Squadron can get through that early stage, if they can somehow get Chen some levels, I don't know how that's possible even, since Bounty Hunter is so great versus Chen in the early stages, then they'll be fine to make that push. Bounty Hunter is really, really weak when the enemy side is grouped up as a 5-man team. That's where Bounty Hunter is at his weakest, especially before level 6. So it's going to be the first 2 or 3 minutes going to be hardest for this Chen, but if they could somehow get around that, maybe pick off the Bounty Hunter with a random dust or something like that, then they'll be good to go. We have the Phantom Lancer being bounded again from the 4 Anchors side, plus that Darks here. Gotta worry about that Surge combo with the DK and just having an early mech carrier, but Vega can just as easily buy a mech on this Chen if he gets some farm.
This Slardar ban from Vega Squadron, is this just to get rid of the negative armor aura strat for 4AFC? Because they have a Shadow Fiend already, and Slardar only really provides you that negative armor. Is it really a threat?
I don't really know if it's that much of a threat. Like, yeah, 4 anchors already do have a lot of physical damage, and they can just go for pure melee or pure physical slash minus armor, and that's like something that 4 anchors can do. I don't know if it's something that Vega Squadron should really be scared of, though, because Shadow Fiend always does damage. So, yeah, I'm not too convinced in the Slardar ban, but I'm pretty sure they're not either. Like, they took a lot of time just to think about that Slardar ban, and it's not really going to be that scary most of the time. But either way, for ASC, they grabbed the Witch Doctor. He's going to be, for the most part, the only true support in this game, I would expect. He's going to be in the lane, poking and prodding.
He's going to be a very important support as well during the team fights, just getting off the Death Ward. Unlike a lot of other supports where they don't have those great not AoE, but those great team fight ultimates, this Witch Doctor, he's going to help not just to really poke and prod at these heroes during the fights, but also just to zone them out if they start getting low. So it means that Vega Squadron, if they go into the team fights, they either have to decide, do we shut down the Witch Doctor during the Death Ward time, or do we just back up? So there's a lot of things you can do with the Death Ward. Bane, third pick though for Vega Squadron. Great single target control. Do you see him being a very big... to play a very big part against 4 anchors?
With the Bristleback pick, probably not as much. 4 anchors don't really have that many stuns. They just have the Cask and the Jerkin still mini stuns, I think. I'm pretty sure they didn't change that. So they don't have that many ways to cancel a Fiend script, but I don't know. Bane's not really going to be setting up for much except for a Dragon Tail, which is pretty nice, I suppose. But 4 anchors, now with the Bristleback, they are going to just straight go for this physical damage strategy. This Slaughter band looking a little bit better in that regard. But Witch Doctor, just as a support hero, he is another support that is so great versus Chen, because you pretty much perma-stun his entire army if you get, not terrible bounces. So for ASC, they are going to be pushed a little bit in theory, but with the Bristleback's early game, with the Shadow Fiend's early game, they are pretty much as well prepared as they can possibly be. And so far, I don't really see where this Bane comes in. He may just sit in the mid lane and help the DK versus the Shadow Fiend. That is not the greatest lane for the DK. Enfeeble will make it a lot easier. But so far, there's not really anything great to set up for. Usually it's going to be an arrow, but I don't know if they are going to grab that. I guess it's not out of the question.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to ask. Maybe it could have been a way to set up for an arrow, maybe even an LSA. I'm surprised Lena's just been completely ignored. This, not just last game, but this game as well. Not even banned, not even picked. Such a great hero. Do you think maybe Lena could be a pickup for Vega Squadron? It just means that it's going to probably cut down a bit on their late game potential. It would have to be a core Lena, but... Yeah. Opinions? Or would they pick up just a traditional late game carry to secure them that late game?
I don't think they have enough early game power to end the game before 4ASC are really just going to get big. 4ASC's late game is terrifying right now with the Bristleback and the Shadow Fiend. And for Vega, if they do grab a core Lena, they'll have a much more powerful early game, but I don't think they'll have enough to actually end the game before 4ASC get big enough. So I don't think that's the way to go. They're probably looking for a hero for Pashibashu right now, and for Vega, this is where they would love to pick up a Phantom Lancer or a similar hero, but Phantom Lancer banned out. 4SC already have some pretty difficult carry heroes to deal with. Shadow Fiend just with his range and burst, Bristleback with his tankiness. So Vega, this is, I think, the game where they try to go as late as possible, just to maybe have a hero. I guess they could try to go for Luna again. Maybe I just like that hero way too much, but no, now I can't.
Nope. That's the respect ban for Mike right there. No Luna. But I would like to see a carry. Damn you. But I would like to see a hard carry that can still fight early. But maybe they have to grab something that's going to be a little bit more mobile. PL, as you mentioned, would have been really nice. He's mobile. He's got the doppel walk to get in and out of the fights. He's super annoying, especially late game. He's very, very troublesome. What carries are we left with in the pool that have some sort of mobility or usability before that late game? We've got Medusa, we have... I can't actually think of any, just because there's a new patch.
An Anti-Mage, since 4AC only have 1 stun?
Anti-Mage could work. The only issue is they're just going to have to make sure that they have to go late game, or they just have to protect the Anti-Mage. There is going to be a lot of threat with the bounty there. Just constantly throwing tracks and just telling him, if you cross this line, we might try and kill you. We might. Doesn't mean we will, we might.
5 seconds.
Well, Vega Squadron do have the luxury of waiting for 4ASC's last pick, so if there's like a random Doom or something like that on the 4ASC side, then Anti-Mage probably not going to be the pick, so they can wait a little bit longer. For 4ASC, I mean, they are already pretty well positioned right now. I'm assuming that roaming Bounty Hunter, I'm assuming Bristleback in the off lane right now, Shadow Fiend most likely mid. They're looking for a safe lane hero, but Bristleback can go into that role as well. 4 Anchors can easily grab something like a Phoenix right now and be more or less unpunished, or not that punished by the Vega Squadron side. So add a little bit more team fight, another distraction, or a Clinks. Wow, physical damage galore. I don't know if it gets any higher.
That is a very scary draft from 4 Anchors. I was actually going to suggest a Morphling for Vega Squadron. It's a carry that can fight early, but does Parshu actually play Morphling? I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever seen him play
Morphling.
Probably in like the last patch. Early in the last patch. That was a while ago.
Patch. So we'll just have to see what they want to pick up. But that Clinks, it's going to... Think about it now. You look at 4 Anchors draft, they've got 2 heroes that are going to be roaming around the map under the cover of invisibility. And there's a very high chance that the roaming invisibility duo, the Bounty Hunter and the Clinks, they're just going to secure kills together. Just track, kill, track, kill, track, kill. And this is going to put Vega Squadron in a bit of a weird spot. They have to buy a lot of detection on their supports. And keep in mind, Clinks is going to eat Chen's creeps. So what's Chen going to do? He has to bring creeps into the fights, but he's going to be ready to lose one. I was not expecting Ursa, but I was looking at it.
I'll believe you. Ursa is not exactly an easily predictable hero, but up against this much physical damage, you do need someone who is a little bit more resistant. Like, Anti-Mage still, in theory, would have been good against 4ASC since they do have such light lockdown, but he's just a little bit too soft. Like, physical burst for 4ASC, it's not something you ordinarily think about, but it is very high, and Ursa's new Enrage is going to help him, in theory, to at least prevent some of that damage. This Chen is going to have, like, a nightmare game. This is as bad as it gets, because... First of all, I'm assuming that someone on 4SC is going to get hit a minus. They may or may not. But Clinks just being able to eat a Chen's creep every single time. And already you're feeding Chen Death Pact, which means... Or you're feeding Clinks Death Pact, rather. Which means that you don't have to prepare for fights as a Clinks. You kind of just wander in with the Skeleton Walk. And then you're ready to fight whenever the fight actually does break out. Because the Chen brings you the meal. So for 4ASC, they have a lot of physical damage, and they're very well positioned to deal with a Chen. And they also have enough physical damage to convincingly push down towers, especially just this Clinks, who can do it pretty convincingly by himself.
Yep. So we'll just have to see what happens first. Game's going to be unpaused. Let's just introduce the players now before Bounty Rune happens. I'm actually expecting some action to happen. Maybe. I think I jinxed it, but... Oh, did they put a Zeb Award on? Oh, no. No way!
Wow, how long has Valix placed it?
Oh god.
Well guys, now 4ASC have complete vision of their base. They will not have anyone to worry about sneaking into their fountain. But guys, Vega, they're not going to place an Observer Ward in their own base. Maybe will be a crucial vision loss there. But no one's going to be handling DK once again. We got Bashu on the Mad Bear. Seema the Slayers on the Bane. Mag on his trademark Clockwork. Solo on his Chen. And, oh, Sentry Ward down. They see Boogie. But they dust him as well. No, they dust, but they don't dust him. He has boots. This guy is quick. And that's Sentry down and Dust down. Do they have another Satchel of Dust? I don't think they do. I don't even think they'll use it even if they did. So that was a lot invested by Vega. I guess making this Lost Observer Ward kind of null.
Kind of not all Boogie. There was Solo. Is he going to just pop out from the invisibility? No. He's just going to recast it again. But that was tragic for Vega. It looked pretty good because of that one Observer Ward by 4ASC, but a lot of commitment. They are going to try and fight for the not for the Aegis. They're trying. I can't speak English. Oh, nice play there from Valix just to get rid of the nightmare from Nemphy. But Clinks and DK are going to get the Bounty Rune. So one for 4ASC and one for Vega. No fight though. I jinxed it.
Boogie is going to be clearly on this annoy Chen plan as we were expecting. That's going to leave top lane a solo Clinks versus a Clockwork. 1 versus 1 Clinks is such a scary hero. Like, just Searing Arrows, the ability to harass the enemies with high damage output without drawing creeps aggro is pretty ridiculous. And for Clockwork, he's not going to be having a great time up here. Usually, you need 3 heroes to really lock down a Clock, but Matuma Man on the Clinks can do this very easily by himself. We can already see it starting with Searing Arrow spam.
there is a chance for Mag to actually get close enough for Cogs and to really put the hurt onto Matumba Man, but if Matumba Man plays smart, he's not going to let that happen. He's always going to play at range, and considering that he is a ranged hero, that's going to make it so much easier for him. That Boogie, though, he's already up to shenanigans, just going to start sapping all the EXP from Solo, and, well, Solo's just saying, well, what do I do at this point? He had to take a Saturn Mind Stealer, because, unfortunately, 2 camps aren't spawning, because one got blocked and the other one's ward blocked.
Man, this is, again, going to be a really bad game for Solo. This isn't a useful creep. Like, Mana Burn, you could use it once to harass in the enemy lane, but if you steal the, what's it called, the Harpy, the Chain Lightning Harpy, like, that's actually a relevant harasser, just because you could dump the entire mana pool and you'll be a-okay. Solo is going to have to make the dangerous trip into the enemy jungle, but what he doesn't know is that Boogie is hot on his trail right now. So this is going to be a bad game for Solo, as he will get maybe a little bit of experience, but it will be split by himself and the Bounty Hunter. And now Solo does know about it. Down towards the bottom lane in the meantime, we have a 2v2 lane going on. Pashibashu, Ursa, not exactly the greatest versus Bristleback, since your physical burst is going to be, for the most part, blocked by the Bristleback. However, a Nightmare into an Earth Shock, into a couple of Fury Swipes onto Valix, that can be a very easy kill.
It could be, but the only problem is that will they ever get there? Will they ever actually get to the target? Ursa, I was surprised by this Ursa pick. What do you actually think was going through Vega's mind when they drafted him? Do they actually have any synergy with their draft? Because if you think about it, they have a Clockwork as their initiator. There's going to be power cogs, and how's an Ursa going to get into cogs without having to break the cogs himself? He's going to have to get an early Blink Dagger, but at this rate, he's not going to get the farm for it.
Yeah, it's not really the best situation right now for this Ursa, or for Vega in general, right? Right now, 4AC are leading the CS score, and they're doing so pretty easily as well. I'm pretty sure their concern were the lanes for this Ursa. Like, he's just going to go straight towards Valix right now, draw out a stun, but it's going to be Solo who's in the most trouble. Boogie from one side, Nemphy from the other. Nemphy just wants to steal the creeps and make Solo's life even more difficult. Still level 1, Boogie still taking some damage, but doesn't have much to fear. And Nemphy, well, he's going to grab his bottle, and he's still just going to peck away at Solo and his attempt at jungling. Is this a kill even? He needs 2 more raises to land, or 1 more hit and a raise. There it is. Onto Solo. Chen, still level 1, is going to be first blood even, and this is not going to be a pushing game for Vega. This is looking like a turtle up kind of game.
You look at all of the CS. All 3 core farmers on the side of 4ASC are topping the charts. Vega, they are close behind by only a couple of CS, but this is a sign. This is a sign that if Vega wants to come back into the game, they're going to have to work hard. They're not going to have the start like they had last game. It's going to be very difficult for them. The Ursa pick, I feel it's still questionable. I can't stop thinking about this. It might work eventually. We'll just have to see after he actually gets some items what's he want to go for. He's got a Ring of Protection, so probably just going to go for the usual stuff on the Ursa. Not much has been said for Mag up top, though. He's still farming away quite decently. He's not being pushed out completely by Matumba Man, so at least Clockwork is doing okay. Once he hits that level 6, then at least Vega can try and go for some ganks.
Yeah, but that's going to be, even then, a little bit risky. You leave the Clinks on the top lane all by himself. He can grab a Desolator or that Soul Ring first. They're going to go for Pasha down towards bottom. Boogie is in the area. Pashibashu does have a Bane coming in to help him out, but he gets blocked off of his escape route from Trixie. This Maledict is going to hurt, and here comes Nemphy with a double damage, and Ursa's going to get picked off. Seema has to bail. He will get out of there just fine, but man, that's some steep commitment from 4ASC. You don't rotate 4 heroes in lightly like that. Now, here comes no one. Breathe Fire will miss onto Valix, actually. He's still looking for him. I don't think Valix has an escape path here. Dragon Tail is available, but unneeded. They'll pick off the Witch Doctor for the Vega side. Probably the best they could have hoped for right now, but still 4SC do get a very important kill on the enemy Ursa. And that's going to set Pashibashu back a little bit more, but they do have to worry about the Dragon Tail into Ursa damage combo up towards top lane. Wow, okay. That happened. Clink's getting the slightly better edge, though, killing off the Clockwork before he himself goes down.
Now, Clinks is level 6, so there is a chance that we may see some rotations coming out from that Clinks, and he's going to be a pain to deal with for Vega. They just don't have anything that supports Solo on the Chen. He's got boots, he's got a little bit of farming time just because the Bounty Hunter has not been on his tail for the past couple of minutes. But he's going to have to realize, okay, Bounty's going to be here very soon. I'm just going to have to try and grab as much farm as I can while that's happening. And I think Boogie, he wants to grab a kill in mid lane. Nope, just going to go for an Observer Ward. Is that spotted by the tower? Shouldn't be.
No, it should be
Shouldn't.
just fine. For the bounty hunter though, he is still only level 2. Like the Chen hasn't really been farming that much, and that means that the bounty hunter doesn't farm that much because he doesn't leech any experience because the Chen isn't getting any creep kills. So bounty is not really leveling that high. He still has 2 assists, which is pretty darn good for Boogie at this stage in the game, but his track is still something that 4SC are going to have to wait for. And at that point, when they get the track, then it's going to be Matumba Man more willing to make rotations out and more willing to look for those kills. But until that happens, I mean, he has such a free lane, you probably don't need to leave unless Boogie comes in with you and snipe the clockwork. That's a pretty easy kill.
That happens so quickly as well, but that was just because we had the Clinks already with the Death Pact and Boogie. Just be Boogie. God. This is the start of something new, my friend. This is a dual invis comp with a lot of burst potential, and Vega, they're not going to be able to deal with this until their heroes get farm, and unfortunately they're not really getting too much farm. Valix, they're going to be stunned up by the Centaur. He actually doesn't, because there's going to be the stun from your Witch Doctor. Seema is going to try and run away. Trixie just going to chase after him, but Pasha, he wants to try and fight after Trixie, but that's going to be a Bristleback. They do get the kill on the Witch Doctor. Can they finish off Trixie though? It's a Bristleback. He's very tanky. One more right click. He does die to no one, and oh my god, that was very close to Vega. Almost losing a couple of extra heroes, but because they had the extra smoke, they were able to get out of vision. Matama Man though, he did kill off, oh no, Witch Doctor killed off the DK because of the Maledict. Matama Man is down here though, but no one will die.
A 2-for-1 for Vega is extraordinary for them at this stage. The Chen walked in with 2 centaurs and had a pretty good angle on both of them. Most of the time when that happens, you instantly win that fight, but one of them got perma-stunned by the cask, the other one got eaten by the Clinks, and suddenly Chen had no army. And Solo, I mean, he's still just a really bad hero after he loses all his creeps. Chen not exactly impressive, so the fact that Vega only took 1 casualty there is really good for them. Granted, it is no one who's been leading the farm on the Vega side. He is, probably the worst hero for them to lose at this stage, but still they get a couple kills, and ooh, now Mag gonna get a snipe on the bounty hunter. Has that dust, has had it for quite a while. And Bounty, he's been leeching experience up in the top lane, but now it's going to be Matumba Man ambushing Mag. Just a couple of searing arrows, and that's going to be an easy retaliation kill for him.
That looked very painful. But Matama Man's getting pretty big. He's got 1k gold, he's got Treads, he's got Aquila, and he's got a Soul Ring. So a lot of fun going towards the Clinks, and unfortunately for Vega, they can't really do anything about Matama Man. They don't have too much damage. Their supports are lacking level 6, in particular Seema. Just having the Fiend's Grip is going to be a very nice way to just keep some of those heroes in place for ganks, but because you've had that Bane struggling a little bit, he's almost level 6. He's level 5 now, sorry. So we'll have to see. We have to see how it's going. Pasha, he's down here with Trixie as well as Valix, and he will be jumped on. There's a Maledict, and he's going to try and go for a counter kill onto Valix. If he can get it, at least it's going to get a bit of a counter kill. He does get it, and Trixie just going to chase after him. He will drop Maledict, but Trixie actually going to get himself stuck in the trees. Bit of a misplay there from the Bristleback. Oh, Boogie though. What's he want? Boogie's hanging around, but he realizes, though, I'm just level 4. I can't do anything at this point. Maybe just hit a creep and just run away. Oh no, Matama Man. Oh.
Invis.
Done.
Invis gank train. Choo choo. No.
So it's like Jaws all over again. Poor Mag. Just sandwiched in behind that tower.
Alright, well, ultimate result is a 2-for-1 again in favor of Vega. That was a little bit of disrespect from 4ASC, disrespecting this Ursa. Like, Overpower is only level 1, but with the Enrage taking pretty much no damage, Earthshock also does a decent amount of damage at this stage. Pashibashu was able to turn things around pretty easily, and that Maledict would have killed off the Ursa. Matumba Man, oh, now he's getting a hook shot. After eating the creep wave, there is True Sight here. Matumba Man has nowhere to run, but he's going to turn around and fight instead. It's going to be close. Matumba Man might get the kill before he dies, and he will. Now is he going to escape? Oh, Shockwave not going to do it. 20 HP. Pashibashu can't catch up. My god, this Clinks, he only got that kill, and he only got that escape because Solo was there. He had the creeps to feed the Clinks, and Clinks got the Death Pact off, and he's able to slip away because of it. And soon he'll have a Midas. In fact, right now he'll have a Midas. So one Chen creep will be eaten by Death Pact, the other will be turned to gold. Suddenly Chen is a less than stellar hero.
If that was a level 1 persuasion on the creeps instead, the Clinks would have been dead. But because the creeps had that extra HP, Clinks absorbs the extra HP too. So it's a very, very sad situation for Solo. He always wants to have creeps and he always wants to level up the Holy Persuasion. It's just that he has to take into consideration it's going to feed Matama Man as well. So it's very difficult. They're getting some items. They're getting some items on their heroes, but They need it quicker. They need kills. They need towers. But can they get them though? They're going to try and go for this mid T1 tower, but for ASC, they've got heroes nearby. The castle's going to be thrown out onto the creeps, and uphill we've got Matama Man waiting. They're going to try and jump onto Valix. He was hook shot, so that's an easy support kill. That's going to be Requiem there coming out from Nemphy, and well, look how quickly the Vane's going to go down to Matama Man and Mag. He's going to hang around. They want no one because he is the bigger and juicier target, and that's going to be the DK going down to Trixie, and they want an extra. They want Solid, this level 5 Chen, and what can he really do? He is a very, very slow Chen. Oh god, the damage coming out. And Pasha, he wants to try and grab a kill, but he's by himself. He could die here if he's not careful. Mag's nearby, but no hookshot available because he used it during the team fight. And it looks like Vega, they want to hang around Pasha. What are you doing? He has to pop the ultimate to survive through everything and himself to make sure. Oh god, that looked very shaky.
All the fights from Vega have been extremely shaky, and that one's no exception. That was definitely a desperation push, you could tell, because they went for that push with no creeps. There was like 1 radiant creep there, so that's, I'm going to count that as 0 creeps. TP in from no one. Does he really want to come into this? No, he doesn't. That's a bad idea, friend. So they're going to get cleaned up, Vega. They have Mag with the hookshot soon, but they lose a tier 1 tower and 4 ASC. With a crushing amount of damage at this point, and with Vega having pretty much no early game, Mag will land the hookshot onto Valix. That will be a kill for the Clockwork or for someone on the Radiant. Yeah, Mag will draw that one, and that's the second time they actually get this Witch Doctor picked off, first time being right behind that tier 1 tower. So that's not terrible for the Vega side, but still, the fact that Boogie now has level 6 is going to be really a pain in the ass to deal with. Trixie has a Vanguard. He is unmovable at this point. Even if Ursa lands his entire Enrage combo on this Bristleback, as long as his back is facing him, that's not going to be a kill. So 4 ASC are really tanky at this point with the mech on the Shadow Fiend, and of course Matuma Man having 1500 HP with the packed up. Vega lack the damage right now to actually make convincing fights happen. They're going to try to go again for this mid lane. There's a cask there. Boogie has the track onto no one. Shuriken plus Trixie charging the front lines. They have to watch out though for Mag, who's going to close in. Cogs bumping Trixie down to the low ground, right into Pashibashu. But again, they don't have enough damage to kill off this Bristleback. He knows it, and he's going to charge Pashibashu now with Matuma Man and Valix and everyone else coming in. They're going to get the track off. This is a valuable kill if they can get it, and it looks like Pasha doesn't have much help. They get the Fiend's Grip on Trixie, but he's taking pretty much no damage in the meantime. Now Seema is going to get burst down off in the sidelines. That's not a track kill, but it's a kill nonetheless. 4 ASC gets something, and they can continue onward with the mech up. They do see Mag, Cogs go up, and that's going to brick wall them from moving forward. I guess Solo gets a little bit of time to farm the top lane, but for ASC, they can go for Roshan right now if they wanted to.
They should. It's an opening for them, and even though they might be in the Roche pit and Vega might know, does Vega want to fight into them? They don't want to fight. They just don't have the tools to deal with for ASC. And you mentioned that there could be the chance that Pashu may be able to grab a kill on the Trixie, but Trixie's not the problem. It's Matuma Man on the clinks. He's hitting so hard and so quickly, and he's gone for a Hand of Midas, plus the fact that there's a bounty on their team. They're going to get items so much more quickly than Vega, and recovery, it's just going to seem impossible for the Radiant squad. Boogie just going to throw a track onto no one, and Mag, he's actually stuck in the cogs a little bit. There's with the cast, only going to bounce onto the other creeps, so that's not going to keep Mag in place, but Nemphy, he wants to kill. Seema going to come and try and save his teammate, and it looks like there's no commitment from 4 ASC. They do get tower denied though.
They get the tower denied, they stop the push up towards top lane, and Vega, they are spotted right now. No one and Pasha both tracked up, so if 4SC want to go for this aggressive play up towards top, which they should, then they will have pretty good vision to do it. Vega, I don't know if they're in a good position to defend any of their towers right now. Like, definitely not a tier 1, tier 2 a little bit questionable even. So 4ASC, they're in prime position to actually make this push happen, and Vega know about it. They do have a DK though, who still has that corrosive breath at level 1. So they can go for perhaps a tower trade, and at this point for Vega, that's probably the best they can hope for. Just sacrifice the tier 1, maybe get a tier 1 of their own, but even bottom lane, not really pushing out that great because, well, here comes Matuma Man, gonna eat a Chen creep, going to kill off a second one, and then chase forward for a third perhaps, but Matuma Man is a nuisance right now. Like, he's an annoyance, and he's also an annoyance that can kill you.
And there's just nothing that Vega can do about it. I wonder what Vega's plan is now that they're behind. You look at their draft and you say, it looks like they wanted to fight very early. They had a DK who played very well last game. They have a Chen who was supposed to help them with the push. You have a Clockwork for an early initiator once they hit level 6, and a Bane as a single target control. But it just feels like their draft just was too wonky. It's just way too wonky. It's just not enough synergy. there's not enough. I'm trying to figure out what the word is. Their draft isn't balanced enough. They don't have enough balance between damage and control. And it's just pretty much because they're lacking items. If they had some more items, then they would have more damage. They've got okay-ish control. But if you don't have enough damage to complement the control, you're not going to grab kills. You can keep him in place for long enough. But Boogie going to go down, dust popped, and he's going to try and make him run away. But that's not going to happen when you have a battery assault on your butt. So it's going to be a kill going to Vega. And a pretty big one too. 500 gold for that bounty kill.
Not a bad bounty to pick up, and meantime, down towards bottom, Nemphy is going to get jumped by the Shadow Bladed No One with a DD to boot. However, the Shadow Fiend has mech, so there's not going to be any chance he dies twice. He won't even die once right now. DK, very high amounts of burst damage with that Shadow Blade, but falling short that time, and No One's Shadow Blade, the hook shot from Mag, eventually maybe a Blink Dagger from Ursa's Pashibashu. He does have that one soon, but if he doesn't get those, then, man, he's not going to be doing that much. 2-man even stealing a creep from Mag right now. Man, what a piece of shit this Clinks. He's such an annoying hero, and Bashu, he will have his Blink Dagger soon, and with the initiation items from Vega right now, they have a chance at taking this fight. With the mech also up on Chen, they can jump in, burst down the Shadow Fiend or the Clinks, and then be on their way from there, but that has to actually happen for them to get a good team fight. If that doesn't, then there's no way that they actually take a heads-up fight. Nemphy might run into Pashibashu right now, and that's not a fight that Shadow Fiend wants to take, although it seems like Pashibashu is free and clear.
The only way I can actually see Vega getting an initiation onto 4 ASC is if the bounty hunter's not nearby with the tracks, and also if there's no wards. There's just so much vision for 4 ASC that they can always start the fights in their favor. They just know where they want everybody. The smoke, they might help though. No one. He's going to go for the stun onto Trixie. Interesting decision not to go for Nemphy, but they're going to go for the Fiend's Grip instead. So that's going to be the Shadow Fiend down. Trixie, he's still there. Aegis hasn't popped, but the rest of 4 ASC, they're going to try and come in. Nemphy, look how quickly he's going to drop. So that's going to be the death of the Shadow Fiend Trixie. He's been kept in the Nightmare for a little bit longer. The Tumberman wanted to grab a kill, but unfortunately he's going to be zoned out. Boogie, though, he's going to try and do whatever he can. Witch Doctor Death Ward going to take down Solo, plus the help of Trixie. Mech going to keep him alive, but that's just a Chen by himself. No one and Pasho, they're just going to have to run away at this point. They grab a Shadow Fiend kill, and that's pretty much about it. Shadow Fiend and Aegis, they lose the rest of their draft.
That is a bad fight for Vega, to say the least. They invest so much in the Shadow Fiend because they really have to. Like, he has the Aegis, so obviously killing him off twice is going to be the goal if anything is going to happen at all. Pashibashu is spotted right now by Boogie. He has no more Blink Dagger, this Ursa. Now he's tracked up, so his escape route is going to be pretty difficult. Matumman is on the high ground. They do cancel the Blink Dagger once again, but he has the Enrage, taking very little damage. Looks like he will run away from that one, but Vega, they're forced to kill off that Shadow Fiend, and they do so very successfully, but unfortunately for them, they can't disengage quick enough. Right now for Vega, if they do invest that much, the hookshot, the grip, into killing off that Shadow Fiend, then their only option after killing off that hero is to fall back. And they couldn't, because 4 ASC were in there fast enough with the Death Ward, with the Clinks coming in from the side. There was way too much reinforcements there for 4 ASC, and Vega stick around for way too long. But we could see how much burst potential they have. They can kill off the Shadow Fiend. They can kill off these 4 ASC heroes. They just have to make sure to avoid the following team fight. Get the solo pick off, get out, rinse, repeat.
This is very risky for no one. He's picked up a Gem of True Sight, and with the way that the team fights have been going, I'm gonna have to say this will go in the way of 4 ASC soon. Actually, Boogie, he's gonna be spotted out by no one. There's a Shadow Blade, and actually, they didn't even know that's there, so poor Boogie gonna go straight down, and Pasha, he wants to go Nemphy. Fiend's Grip gonna keep him in place as well. 2 heroes down for 4 ASC, and it looks like our Dire Squad, they're just gonna have to back up. They're really afraid now because they lost 2 heroes so quickly. Vega, is this the start of their comeback? 1.7k gold as well from those 2 kills.
Man, that's a lot of cashing in. That's a 2,300 gold swing, 2,800 experience swing. Unfortunately for Vega, they do use both the hookshot and the grip there, so they can't go for any super aggressive play, but that's exactly what I was talking about. Almost like textbook what I was talking about. Get the pickoffs, fall back, try not to lose anyone. Mag, I just said try not to lose anyone. He pops the cogs, and somehow that won't bump. What? That did not make any sense. Matumman is free and clear. Dragon Knight giving chase, but you can't catch up to a Clinks. How the hell did those cogs not bump that Clinks back? He was like sitting right on top of them.
I call hacks. I'm
Hack
kidding.
swords.
Just weird.
Okay.
Just weird
Well, no one's gonna run to Boogie once again. He has another double damage rune somehow. How does no one find these things? Boogie has stick charges. Will get healed up a little bit, and he will survive. No one. If he had that Ogre Club, probably would have been a kill. But man, that was a pretty BS kill from the Clinks onto that Clockwork. I have no idea how that worked out.
Just Dota integration. Just interactions are weird in this game. This is why nobody likes Dota.
Cogs are also weird, man. Like, sometimes it doesn't seem like they'll catch anyone, but they, like, bump heroes back who are sitting right next to you. It's just a weird
You try and
skill
go
in
through that
general.
tiny corner and you get cogsed out. I know the feeling.
Bad times.
You think
Feels
there's enough
so bad,
space.
man.
Yep.
But Matumba Man's gonna be feeling good. He got a free kill. That probably shouldn't have happened.
He's so big. Oh, he's just gonna try and take the creeps, and well, they salvage one creep. It was the mud golem.
Fantastic.
Well, solo. Pet mud golem. Everything else just completely decimated by Matumba Man. The Clinks are so big. He's running Hanamitis. He's got Track on his team, and they're ahead. Could you not ask for any better game for a Clinks? He could just run around, grab free kills, and he could just not be too worried about Vega. If they want to kill him, they'd commit everybody. But typically for ASC, they have enough time to bring everyone into the team fight. So there you go. That's their game plan. They can recover. It's just going to be off the back of some really good team fights. Execution is going to be key. Whereas for ASC, they're ahead. If they screw up, it's their game to lose. So we'll see how they execute this team fight. Are they going to do the same as they normally have, or is something going to go incredibly wrong?
Eyes on Seema the Slayer. His grip is so important for Vega, and running into Trixie, that's not what he wants to have happen. Here comes Valak. Pashibashi, though, going to intercept. Blink in rage up, but no BKB means he's going to get stunned up and slowed down. Tomb Man, though, he's being focused off to the sideline, stunned for a very long time, will be brought down first. No buyback for him, and Death Ward's going to help zone everyone away. They get the grip onto Nemphy, solo tanking the Death Ward now, but no one's going to close in Dragon Tail onto Trixie. In fact, Mag closes in as well. Nemphy taking the focus right now, but he's still very healthy. Pashibashu is still just right on top of Trixie, but doing no damage to this Bristleback. Flare gonna come on in. Everyone's tracked up on the Vega side, so Borisy working with perfect intel right now, but it's just a 1-for-0. Trixie gonna charge forward towards no one, send back to the base, I think. Yeah, he's gonna get sent back. He'll be just fine. Solo gonna TP out. He'll live as well. Can Mag escape? I don't know. Cogs, hopefully for Mag, not gonna mess up again. No, he's gonna trap Trixie in on him. Well played by Trixie. It will be an even 1-for-1. Bottom lane was pushing all the while, but for Vega, that's, again, a lot better than they really should have done right there. They pick off the Clinks immediately with their burst. They dodge death from all the other heroes, but again, after killing off the Clinks, Shadow Fiend, super tanky. Bristleback, super tanky. They don't have enough damage to sustain that fight.
I love the priority targeting from Vega Squadron. They found Trixie on the Bristleback just around this section of the hill, and they realized that Trixie is a problem if you don't actually get rid of him, so they commit Mag with the hookshot as well as the cogs to keep him there, whereas the rest of Vega, they were fighting around the tower, so they managed to kill Clinks in this vicinity, and for ASC, they were kind of split at that point. So Vega, execution-wise, that won them the game. The decisions to lock down certain heroes to get their objectives, well done. That's what they have to keep doing. The only problem is, for ASC, they notice what's going on. Are they going to learn from their mistakes, or are they going to change their own game plan to accommodate for the way that Vega is playing? Because they can't afford to lose their DPS. Their Clinks and their Shadow Fiend. Two primary DPS stealers, whereas Trixie, he's a Bristleback and he can do damage as well, but he's going to have issues due to kiting. So we'll have to see. Roche looks like he's going to be the target, or pretty much the main stage for what could be the next fight.
Seema the Slayer, he is tracked up right now. That's bad, but a hook shot in's gonna catch two. Valak's in a lot of trouble right now, as is Trixie. They'll lose the Witch Doctor in exchange for the Clockwork. Trixie's still stuck in those cogs, as Pashibashi does come in, but still has no BKB. They get the grip onto Nemphy instead. That's a lot better. Nemphy, though, not taking any damage. No one has to focus him down. They'll go for Trixie instead. They can't make up their mind right now, and Seema's taking a lot of damage. In the meantime, they will take out the Bristleback eventually in exchange for their own Chen. Boogie gonna chase it out. Matumba Man now trapped. No one has a Dragon Tail. They'll wake him up with it into the Ursa's damage. That'll be 2 kills. Here comes Trixie back from the dead, and it's about time for Vega to leave. No one does have his Silver Edge. He is invis, I think. Yes, he is invis. And he will fall back for Vega once again. Getting initiation off, getting the burst off works well for them for like the 3rd consecutive time. If they can keep doing this, man, they're going to get themselves right back into this game. They need, so crucially though, a BKB on Pashibashu. If he has that, at least 1 more kill for Vega, probably even 2.
That hookshot was so good from Mag. Getting that two-man hookshot just absolutely disrupting for ASC. They weren't expecting it as well. So they lost the Witch Doctor off the bat. So there was no death ward for the team fight. Trixie, he dropped very low. He did die off in the end and he had to buy back. So that's going to slow down his item progression. And then all of a sudden, Vega, they're in a weird spot. They had Shadow Fiend here and then they had their Bounty Hunter and their Clinks there. So it was a very weird spot for them. But for ASC, at least they didn't lose more than that. They are probably going to have to lose Roshan at this point because Clinks is still down. Massive loss because that's a BKB and an Aegis on Pasha Ibashu. And now for ASC, they have to decide, do you want to pop the Aegis and kill the Ursa again because you have to deal with the rest of his team, or do you just peel off, go for the rest of the team and ignore Ursa? Because you got to... There's just been the targeting by both teams, but Vega in particular, their targeting has been great.
And it's going to be a lot easier for them now that Dragon Knight has level 16, so his targets aren't very easily going to walk out. Bane also has a big defensive tool in that Ghost Scepter up against 4 ASC, who are pretty much all physical damage. That's going to be a huge item for him to pick up. Also a Force Staff for Clockwork. Big items are coming up for Vega, and they're just going to brute force their way up all the way to the high ground. Pasha is going to jump straight into Boogie. He has enough damage to kill him off with the Dragon Fire. They will. Trixie now going to get hit with the stun. Broken as well, so no passive there. He's going to get torn to shreds. Mag even committing the hook shot. Maybe a little bit overcommitment there for that Bristleback, but the Bristle just bought back. He's not going to be alive for this upcoming push, and, well, the Chen has a full army right now. Where's the Clinks? He's in the mid lane. Clinks, what are you doing? Your team needs you right now. Your Raxes need you. They'll fortify up, but even if Clinks does come in, this DK still has this gem. Pasha Bashu, again, for the second game now, the engine with which Vega are going to drive their way to victory, and that's going to be bottom lane Raxes. It's 19-19 and 4 ASC. They just get picked apart. It's the focus fire, the targeting, as you said several times before, that's winning Vega this game right now. They are, I think, still technically behind in the Golden Experience, but I don't think that's going to be the case for much longer. A huge win for Vega, and there's still tier 2 towers to take. Oh, and still Boogie to take as well. Do they have True Sight here? They have Dust. I don't think they know about it. They're actually looking for a Shadow Fiend kill. Ursa's going to blink in for Valix instead. Couple of hits, no BKB needed. The Witch Doctor can't even turn around, but now Pasha Bashu is in an awkward position. Will slip out of there. The two men, Boogie stalking the bear, but the bear has a blink dagger. Mag is right behind him. There's the jump in. Boogie is gonna get bursted. No, not quite. Dust is there. They can't do it now. Brain Sap. Brain Sap. No, Machuman's gonna jump in, going for Seema, but gets gripped in response. Where's the DK right now? Mag is here. Seema's gonna get left behind as Bashu and Mag just get the hell out of there. Cogs are up, which will secure their retreat. A little bit of misplay perhaps from the Vegas side. They could have gotten that easy kill, but they have to fall back for right now. Still, though, doesn't matter. They're a racks up.
That was a little strange from Seema. I'm not too sure if he forgot he had the dust or if he was just saying, we're not going to commit for the kill, and then all of a sudden they just went, go, 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 just go for the kill. Biggie, though, just going to go down to a couple of right clicks, plus the Dragon Breath, or Dragon Fire, Fire Breath. Flame,
Breathe
breath,
fire.
breathe fire.
breathe Dragon Fire breath.
Breathe Dragon Fire, just flamethrower.
We'll call it Dragon Fire. It's not like people won't know what we're talking about. He's the only dragon
Yeah.
in this game anyway.
Or the Jakiro?
In this
Winter
game.
Wyvern? Oh, Wyvern.
Dragon
Yeah, this
Slave,
game, I guess.
Dual Breath. It's all close
Dragon
enough, but here we go. They took down the tier 2 tower with that one pitch. Jump in. Pasha Bashu straight onto Nemphy right now. Dragon Tail into Trixie in the meantime. He's broken, I believe, yes, as well. Mag's gonna jump onto two man in the meantime. Does get one Chen creep down, but he can't focus, or tank, he can't tank everything. Now into Nemphy they go. Valix is still channeling his ultimate, but into the DK. He has so much armor, he's not even feeling it right now. Pasha Bashu perhaps overcommitted, but he has the Aegis. He will go down right now as they do force out the buyback from 4 ASC. No one has no easy way of getting back into this fight. Clockwork has no Force Staff, but Pasha Bashu will blink out of there. DK also picks up his Assault Cuirass mid-fight. They get the Nightmare into Trixie. Valix is going to pull it off of him, but here comes Mag. The two-man's going to jump forward, eat a creep, then back off. It's a nice little win there for Vega. They trade the Aegis, which for Ursa was probably just going to be timed out anyway, for a buyback on the Clinks, and then they slide up to the top lane and grab a free tier 2 tower.
This is looking very risky now for 4 ASC. How long did they actually lead the game for? It's equalizing now. So it's just started to equalize a couple of minutes ago. So for ASC, the lead that they had mounted for the majority of the game, all of a sudden just means nothing because they can't outfight Vega. The targeting is on par. They're just focusing the correct heroes. They have a lot of disable. The Bane, Seema on the Bane, his targets have been phenomenal. He's been Fiend's gripping those key targets. He's been throwing the Nightmare onto the disruptive heroes, which is what he should be doing. And it's really disrupting for ASC. They need a BKB on Clinks. I don't know why he didn't actually pick it up earlier, just to respect pickup for against Vega, because they do have a lot of disables. Maybe he felt that it was okay up until that point, though. Trixie just going to go right down. Oh, actually, just popping nothing. That was actually Pashibachi's BKB, and all of a sudden, their team's going to be ripped apart. And Empty, he's been hookshot. He's stuck in place. Tubberman and the Backlines can't do anything, because if he shows himself, he's going to die. That's Trixie, as well as the Witch Doctor offline for ASC. That's 3v5, and what can they really do? If they try and defend this, they're going to lose heroes for sure. They need their entire draft. Vega, though, had they come back, it looks like they have.
And what a comeback from Vega. There's no way that 4ASC can defend this with a 3v5. I mean, last game we saw pretty much everyone on Vega performing as well as they can right now. They're going to jump into him with 2-man, grip him up, and then Pashibachi's going to tear him a new one. This game, though, I think, not everyone on Vega performed as well. Solo kind of gimped from the beginning, so it's hard to evaluate that. But Mag, he overperformed with his clockwork. No one, he performed, again, a lot better than you could expect from a DK, just like the last game on that DK. And Seema the Slayer, as you said before, was just a champion in this game. He got all the grips off, Nightmares as well. He didn't have any poison and Feeble, which I think maybe he just wasn't a high enough level for. No, he's level 13. He should have a little bit, but not much of that. Doesn't even matter. The initiation from the DK and the clockwork brought Vega back into this game and then let them win it. And for 4SC, even if they did go for a BKB, that doesn't really help you against Ursa. That doesn't really help you against that grip. So I don't know. I mean, they had an advantage for a great portion of the game. They just couldn't really handle the cogs and the initiation power from Vega. If 4SC had a clockwork of their own, they would have a much better chance. But instead, guys, they're going to drop now 2-0 in this best of 5. Vega looking so good. Perhaps a little bit shaky, but man, they pulled it back, and that is very hard to do.
Yeah, Vega's just bringing their A game to this best of 5 series. They want to win this, and if they can take it 3-0, that's going to be an achievement. Because keep in mind, before we actually started the game, what were the odds for ASC to beat Vega?
They were actually the favorites.
Did you actually see the odds? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Vega were favorites?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I saw a lot of people say 4ASC. I said Vega was going to win anyway, but
I'm
oh,
sure.
God.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway, guys, we have a Game 3 coming up very shortly. Vega with a 2-0 lead over 4ASC. We'll see if they can close that in a clean 3-0 sweep. But for right now, I'm Mike Loris. I'm joined by Danny, and we'll both be right back for the third and potentially final game from the Yard G2A Festival. Don't go anywhere.